Module 1, Main Idea, for Read 1000 to Read 1010 courses. Welcome to Module 1, Finding the Main Idea. We will start with looking for the main idea of a paragraph. I will present a paragraph from a history textbook that some of our classes use, by Davidson, DeLay, Hireman, Lytle, and Stoff, published in 2015, and we're looking at page 359. The first thing we will do is look for the subject of the paragraph. Who or what does the paragraph describe? The section is Whites in the Western Environment, Competing Visions. As discoveries of gold and silver lured white settlers into Indian territory, many adopted the decidedly un-Indian outlook of Missouri politician William Gilpin. Only a lack of vision prevented the opening of the West for exploration. Gilpin told an Independence, Missouri audience in 1849. What was most needed? Cheap lands for farms, and a railroad linking the two coasts like ears on a human head. In his expansive view, land was nothing sacred, only property to be employed. Indians were mere obstacles. Notice the paragraph mentions Gilpin several times. Is this about Gilpin himself? Not really. It is about his ideas related to land in the western part of the United States. Notice how much of the paragraph describes Gilpin's view of Western land. His view was un-Indian, or not like the views of Native Americans. His view was that a lack of vision blocked expansion. He believed that cheap lands were needed and that these lands were means to an end. And Gilpin believed that Indians were obstacles to white people obtaining land. Now look at the underlined sentences again. Does one of these serve as an umbrella that the others would fit under? Take a minute to reread the paragraph to decide which one you think states the main idea. Pause the video if you need to so that you can answer this question. Which did you pick? Many adopted the decidedly un-Indian outlook of Missouri politician William Gilpin. Only a lack of vision prevented the opening of the West for exploration. What was most needed? Cheap lands for farms and a railroad linking the two coasts. In his expansive view, land was nothing sacred, only property to be employed, or Indians were mere obstacles. Let's try this sentence. In his expansive view, land was nothing sacred, only property to be employed. Do the other sentences that refer to Gilpin's ideas fit under this? Does this seem to work? If so, we've identified the sentence that states the main idea. Notice how each sentence describes something about Gilpin's expansive view or his view on Western expansion. This view was un-Indian. It was an un-Indian outlook. Land for farms and railroads were necessary for expansion. Native Americans were only obstacles to achieving Gilpin's vision. In other words, their livelihood wasn't important to him, and it was only a lack of vision by others that would keep this vision, Gilpin's vision, from being achieved. So the paragraph is about Gilpin's ideas of westward expansion, which were that others should see that land should be used for the purposes that he envisioned. Now we can simplify the main idea of the paragraph. How would you state this? In Gilpin's expansive view, land was nothing sacred, only property to be employed. Here's a possibility. Gilpin wanted westward expansion. Land was a means to achieve it. So to recap, to find the main idea of a paragraph, I ask who or what the paragraph is about. Look at what the paragraph says about the subject. Decide which phrase or sentence serves as an overarching idea or an umbrella under which the other ideas fit. and I can restate the main idea in my own words to simplify and to make sure that I understand what the idea is. Now we can look at the larger section to see that each paragraph's idea may actually be a supporting point of a larger idea. So the section title is Whites in the Western Environment Competing Visions. Based on this title, I think that the section will present at least two ideas about the environment in the West. As I read the section, I discovered that there was another vision of the resources in the West. Let's look at another couple of paragraphs in the section to see what the competing view was. Unlike the visionary Gilpin, John Wesley Powell knew something about water and farming. In 1869 and 1871, Powell had led scientific expeditions down the Green and Colorado rivers through the Grand Canyon. Skipping on, he too had a vision of the West, but one based on the limits of its environment. The key was water, not land. Unlike the water-drenched East, water in the parched West should be treated as community rather than private property. Notice that the author sets up a contrast with the first sentence of the paragraph. What was the different approach or competing vision? Look at the underlined sentences. The key was water, not land. Water in the parched East should be treated as water in the parched West should be treated as community rather than private property. So now I can begin to put smaller ideas under a larger umbrella. So we're watching pictures of umbrellas float in. A section outline for this section might include the following. There were two competing views about the environment in the West in the mid-1800s. Gilpin wanted westward expansion, land was a means to achieve it. Powell thought that water was the most valuable resource and that it should be shared. I found an overarching idea that there were two competing views, and then I've summarized these views in my outline. So here's your assignment. Your professor has given you a section of text to work with. Underline the main ideas in at least 3 key paragraphs. Restate these ideas in your own words. Determine the main idea of the assigned section and create a section outline that shows how the paragraph ideas support the larger main idea of the section. And thanks for watching.